are surrounding yourself with people that are thinking so big that you've never thought that before.
So when you talk about personal development,
yes,
I mean growth is sometimes uncomfortable.
Absolutely, yes.
growth can be
awkward. Yes,
growth can be painful.
Yes,
even when you look back at some mistakes that you made.
Yes,
and, things that you used to. And I remember seeing something a while ago. They said, it's funny when sometimes you show people old photographs of themselves, they only see how they were and the mistakes that they were making at them, and it's painful for them to even look at old photographs.
Yeah.
Not necessarily how they look physically, but just they remember that time in their life, and they're like, I was thinking like this, and I was doing like this. So are you past that when you look back, when you think back to how you are to how you were to how you are now?
Yes.
Is it easier to be okay with the fact that that old part of you is gone?
Absolutely, because even before this business, I always kind of had that mindset of everything that you kind of go through, you have to go through, because it is going to lead you to where you need to be. If that, everything has a purpose. Everything that you're going through, all the hardship. Like right now, when I look back on my career and my jobs and things like that, I think about all the jobs that I didn't like and the parts of it that I never liked. But I think that that's the stuff that I had to gather up so that I could be the person that I am today for my team and for myself in this business. I take away something from everything. And I think that's the problem, is that, a lot of people look at their current situation and they just absolutely hate it, but they're not looking at the lessons that they could be learning in the meantime, and they're not seeing the bigger picture of where that particular situation is going to take them and how they're going to utilize what they're learning in the future. But for me, I always knew that it was like brick by brick,
That this was building to something else.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Now, when you talked about, you said, I noticed you referenced your team again.
Yes.
There are those people that they may want to get started. Say they got a little twinge of entrepreneurship or want to do some, but they're scared because they don't feel like they have guidance. So, part of what you offer and part of what Limelight does, and particularly you being going to be their sponsor of their upline, is that you would be able to walk them through baby steps of growth, so they don't have to feel intimidated like they have to run some multi-million-dollar business, right?
Not at all. I mean, everybody kind of has to start somewhere, and I think part of absolutely my job is just to be able to give you the resources.
Yeah, that's cool. So there's no need for, I'm just thinking about the viewer here, that they might feel intimidated that they come in kind of late, and that, say, you have teammates that's been with you for a year or something like that, and they feel like they're behind, or they're
not at all. It is a constant circle of circle of life. It's just it literally, people just join every day, and we all start at the same place, but people end up in very different places. I mean, and it's, I think what's important about this, because I have people that have joined after me that have surpassed me in the company, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. I just want to let people know I'm okay with that. Please come in the company and surpass me. I would love that. That actually is a testament, really, to not only the person, but maybe to my leadership and my coaching, right? I mean, if you can come into the company and surpass me, please do. And many people have, actually. And I'm so happy. I am the biggest cheerleader for people's success. There's no, I think one of my roles with the company, not only as a beauty guide, but I actually have a role of being an ambassador with Limelight by Alcone. And basically, out of the whole entire company, there are only 10 of us that are ambassadors.
Wow.
Yeah. And I am so proud to be one. And what that really means is that we're ambassadors of culture. And I think culture in a business is so important. It really lays the foundation work for future people that come into the company, and really saying, hey, we're a collaborative culture, we're not competitive. Because a lot of other businesses are very competitive. But for me, this is in line with my philosophy outside of this business. Before, when I was a makeup artistry is a very competitive industry, as you know.
No.
It's like people are just stabbing each other in the back left and right. They're keeping opportunities from each other because they're afraid that they're going to lose out on business or jobs. I've never been that type of person. In fact, I was the type of person that loved meeting other makeup artists and friending them and really kind of talking business with them, because who knows your business more than your peers, right? But everybody, like, some people look at their peers as competition and they don't want to like lend each other secrets or give each other business, when in reality you're gaining so much more when you are actually working together. And I don't think people grasp that yet, but that's the culture of our company. I can't speak for other companies, but we love to help each other, not kill each other.
You mentioned the word competition.
Yes.
I used to be people that follow me on social media, Facebook and all that. I would get all these questions all the time because people knew what I did. I'm a magician, I'm a speaker, and they would want me to post more videos of me performing.
Sure.
And I was guarded about that up until really about the last year, because I didn't necessarily want to give ideas to other people.
Sure.
But I learned that if your nose is really down,
yes,
right, and you're really focused, and you're operating at a certain level, and you're willing to put in the work, there really isn't any competition, because most people they're just not going to work hard.
No.
Or they're going to work hard to a point,
yeah,
and then they're going to come up with an excuse on why they're not working hard.
Sure.
So when I kind of realized that, I was like, you know what? I don't have anything really to be guarded about, because not to mention, everybody has their own individual personality. Everybody has their own way that they want to do things. So how you do things, or how you operate, or how you deliver a message is going to be completely different than somebody else.
Absolutely.
So you're really not in competition anyway.
No.
And how I perform a magic trick per se versus somebody else, they can't do what I do because they're not me.
Exactly.
Right? So it's like this fear of not taking steps, ladies and gentlemen, you don't have to do, because there really isn't any competition. Mm-mm. I mean, if you look at the top people in any industry, right? They don't feel like they're competing with each other, not necessarily. There's no need to do that.
No, not if you're staying in your own lane and you're focusing on your own business.
I mean, this just really so it's cool to hear that, because one thing that men in the business world hear about. We gotta be careful here. How can we say this? One thing that men hear is that when we hear other women talk about, it's harder for them to be around other women because of competitiveness.
Sure, cattiness, natural cattiness, and judgments.
So,
yeah.
So it sounds like
I'll say it. It's cool.
Okay. So it sounds like you're saying that isn't the culture, that's not the attitude, that's not the atmosphere of what you try to foster with your team.
Absolutely not.
And I think that's good. So you really encourage them to say, hey, help each other, be supportive.
Oh yeah.
Build each other up.
Oh, absolutely, yes. I mean, I think in general, people tend to be competitive. There are some people that are naturally competitive, and then others that are naturally definitely not. I'm one of those people. I'm just not one of those people that has to win all the time and has to get to the place first. I'm just not. I'm the type of person, I'm like, I will get there. Yeah. I'm just going to go on my own time, and that's okay too. It's kind of nice to have a balance of both. Mm-hmm. But I think in this industry, too, it's very easy because we kind of break off into like our own teams, and we have, as far as like corporate goes, there are certain legs that are direct to corporate. So currently in our company, we have 3 direct to corporate legs. It could be so easy to go against each other, right? Mm-hmm. But that is, like I said, that is not the environment that we like to cultivate. We want to make sure that everybody understands we're cheering for each other. Yeah. Regardless of what leg you're on, regardless of what team you're on, we love each other. That's what we had to teach people that came in from, like, we had a big surge from another company that unfortunately was kind of the opposite, the way that their culture was. And it was definitely one of those moments where we had to say, no, like, that's not how things roll over here. We actually embrace each other. We help each other out. We cheer each other on. We want the best for each other. So that was a bit of a learning curve for some people. Yeah. And it is a different environment when you've basically come into an environment of something that's opposite of what you've experienced in your whole entire life. Of course it's going to be a bit jarring, that you're like, are people serious about this? Are they sincere about helping me and wanting me to grow and be the best and be successful? They're not trying to stab me in the back. I mean, that is a shock to some people. That's sad to me, but that is the reality of people's mentalities when they go into business, and that's unfortunate because, like you were saying, sometimes you were apprehensive about sharing, your tricks and stuff because you didn't want to give other people your idea. But I think the number one thing to remember is that there's only one you.
Right.
And really,
exactly.
The way that you deliver something is totally different and will appeal to your audience. That's going to appeal to the people that you're going to appeal to.
Right.
It's not going to appeal to the person that you just taught your stuff, And so that was another thing that I had to learn along the way was, I think to myself, if I just sat at home and said, gosh, there are hundreds and hundreds and thousands of YouTubers out there that are teaching the very thing that I'm teaching every day on my Facebook feed. But if I had that attitude, I would go nowhere, right? Yeah. There are people that want to learn from me. I've had people that have come to me and said, I like learning from you because you have a way about you in your teaching that I'm not annoyed. I'm not, it doesn't feel like I'm getting schooled like that,
Yeah.
And so my touch is different than somebody else's, but I'm not for everybody, and I'm okay with that. Like when you detach yourself from the outcome of certain things, you just don't care. It's just like you just go out and do what you have to do for the people that want to learn from you, that want to learn and be around you, and that's okay.
Yeah. Now you talked about Facebook. You have very powering presence on Facebook.
Thank you.
And social media with what you do. So what tips, or just talking about, what have you learned using Facebook that you would share with the audience as far as just general business?
Yeah,
much. What have you learned with Facebook and using social media to help push your brand?
I think that it's such an important thing to overlook because there are so many people out there that are afraid of Facebook. They're afraid of going live. They are terrified of it. But I have to say, my business, my branding, everything went to a whole nother level when I started looking at my Facebook page strategically. And that's kind of how you have to look at it. I mean, let's just be honest. There are people that use Facebook as a way of complaining about their life. Those are generally not very wise business people, or they're not in business anyways. But if you really take a look at some of the most successful people and how they utilize social media in general, but Facebook specifically, there's a rule. There's an 80-20 rule. You want to share enough about your own personal life that you are attracting people that want to know that kind of stuff.
Yes.
And then you kind of slip in the business, right? And then you kind of use that. You don't want it to all be business because then you're just going to be one big walking advertisement and people are going to be completely turned off to that. I think for me, the big learning lesson was just adding value to people, So for me, it's very easy for me to go on Facebook and do a live about makeup because that is what I know. That's my specialty. And I love teaching people about it. So I got over that fear very quickly. My fear of going live was very real. It was like the shaking, the puking, like I really felt physically ill before pressing that go live button. It was a very big hurdle for me, but it was baby steps. I started out going live on Periscope. If you are familiar with Periscope, are you familiar? Yeah. I started on Periscope because I was like, okay, I can start somewhere where nobody knows me, because nobody that I knew on Facebook was on Periscope. So I just started on Periscope, and I'm like, I'm just going to slowly go live and try to get over like my fear of going live and interacting with people live. So I started there, and then people started to ask me, like my clients started to have questions for me. They were like, how do I use this brush? How do I use this eyeshadow? How do I use this lip product? And instead of doing individual videos for each client, it didn't make a whole lot of sense. So you leverage technology and time. So I'll do like a tutorial that will answer 5 questions. Right? Then I could just tag people in the lives, in the videos, and it was so much easier. But then I found that I was adding a lot more value to a whole bigger audience than just my actual customers and clients. Like, this was like being able, like, anybody can see my videos. At first they were not public, but then I got over myself, and then I have all of my videos public so anybody can see them. And because of that, I feel like that has grown my brand, my visibility, I feel like it's really
I'm going to ask you this
helped.
question. If there are people that, because I'll admit that I'm one of those people.
Which ones?
I'm one of those people that I don't really do the Facebook Live.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why.
You so should.
I'm going to tell you why, because it's like, maybe it's ego. Maybe it's like, I would hate to see me go live.
Okay.
And one person watches, and then that count goes from 1 to 0.
Okay.
So
I've had that happen.
Right? Have you really?
I think I have.
Because every time that I see that you go live, it's like you got like 12 or 20 or something like that's watching. So I wouldn't imagine.
Okay, this is where I want you to see the bigger picture.
Okay, bigger picture. Bigger picture.
Yes, bigger picture.
Okay.
A lot of times, unless you schedule your lives, like let's say you can utilize lives as, hey everybody, I'm going to come on at 8 o'clock this night. Let people know ahead of time.
Yeah.
My lives are not like that. I just, whenever I'm feeling like it, I just pop on and I just do my thing. And that doesn't really give a whole lot of people notice that you're going to be on. So every time I'm doing that, I'm risking having 0 viewers, right? But I'm like, I can't think like that. I'm thinking bigger picture.
Okay.
I'm thinking, I'm going to put the video out there and people are going to view it when they view it, right? Because when you make your video and then you see how many views it's gotten, that's when you just get over that. Like the whole, like, maybe I won't have anybody join me. It's okay. You will later.
They'll watch it later.
Yeah. And almost, why don't you just go on with the intention of your replayers, not so much your live audience. Like you can of course interact if you have them, but don't go into it thinking I'm going to have like 50 viewers interacting with me. This is going to be great because honestly, it's distracting.
Is it?
Yes. Like I like welcoming people interacting with me, and that's when I'll ask questions like, what are you guys up to today? What are you doing? Do you have plans? What do you guys think I should put on my lips? I'll ask when I want that interaction, but generally if someone's just spouting off question after question, like I'm doing my makeup. Like I can't really do, see that and then do my makeup because that's gonna put me off focus.
Gotcha.
So instead of thinking that you're gonna have 0 viewers, just do your thing and then
let it replay.
And then rely on people to watch the replay, because honestly that's where the follow-up is, right? Is like, I might have 10 people on with me at one time, but then later on I'll see, good, I got 300 views. Somebody's watching,
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's do, you got 5 quick makeup tips that you can give just a general viewer. 5 quick things.
Sure. This is gonna, like, most of it is probably gonna be not as specific, but I do think for your makeup, prepping your skin is extremely important. So I kind of relate it to painting. Like if you're not if you're not sanding the thing and then putting down the paint, it's not going to look that great. The same thing kind of goes with makeup. If you're not moisturizing, if you're not exfoliating your skin, then your makeup is just not going to lay the way that it should be. So that's tip number 1, is prepping your skin. Step number 2 is the actual tools that you're using. So I know that there are people out there that like to use their fingertips, or they're using those sponge tip applicators that kind of come with, packaged with these drugstore brands and sometimes higher end brands. But honestly, using brushes, using sponges, they make so much difference in the way that your makeup goes on and how it stays. That's tip number 2. Number 3 is the actual product itself. So if you are using products that are not highly pigmented, that are not great quality, guess what? They're not going to perform as well. So finding those higher quality products is so paramount, because they're going to work better for you and you're going to work less hard for it. So So that's tip number 3. Tip number 4 is going to be a little bit more makeup related. So we have a product that I have on my lips currently. It's called Enduring Lip Color. These are long-lasting matte lipsticks, and I think a lot of people struggle with how to keep your lipstick on all day. But this is a great product because I literally just put it on. The key to this product is using it on moisturized lips, but not keeping the moisture on your lips. So if I were to add let's say a lip gloss on top of this, it's going to change the formula and it's not going to last very long. So I think it's key to kind of keep your lips moisturized, but take the moisture off before applying this product, and it should last you, sometimes it's lasted me 12 plus hours with only one touch up. So that's very product specific. The other tip that I have for you guys, I know a lot of you ladies out there struggle with wanting your lips to look more fuller. So my tip with that is that you take a lip gloss that is either the same tone or maybe just a little bit lighter, and just applying a little bit in the bottom middle part of your lip and then pressing your lips together, and that is going to instantly plump up your lips.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or you can get the injections and just...
Yeah, I haven't gone there yet. I don't knock it. I haven't gone there myself.
Like there's been some celebs that's been doing the whole lip injection.
Oh, there are a lot of celebrities that do lip injections.
Yeah, what's that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not knocking it.
I just saw somebody on Instagram. I'm not going to say her name.
Okay.
I saw somebody on Instagram, a celebrity.
Okay.
And it was like, last week she literally looked one way.
Oh gosh. See, it does transform your face.
and she just posted a video, and I was looking at it and I was like, she had lip injections, right? So, okay, cool. So we're going to wrap up 3 business tips that you would give just to either general business person or someone starting their own business. 3 business tips that you have found to be helpful.
Yes.
What you've learned.
So I've already touched on a couple of these.
Yeah.
I think the consistency is very important. Just to show up every day, regardless of how you're feeling, is very important. The other one is perseverance. Yeah. And that whole roller coaster ride that we're talking about, that is not just life, it's business. You got to stay on it. You got to stay on it, because I promise you, if you stay on it, you will reap the rewards of your business and what you're putting into it.